now thousands of KZN learners are at risk of going to class on empty stomachs. This as a number of food suppliers are threatening to put the brakes on deliveries due to non-payment. The provincial government has, however, moved to allay concerns over food shortage in schools, promising to address the issue. Now, to tell us how they are planning to avert this, I am joined by the KZN Education MEC, Sipho Hlomuka. MEC, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And I guess before we even get to how you're planning on allaying and making sure that this doesn't happen, how did we find ourselves here in the first place?
Well, evening to yourself and evening to the viewers. Let me start by saying it's not true that there will be learners that won't receive their nutrition. All schools, they have received their food as agreed with the service providers. And I don't understand where this crisis is coming from. I can just account that from May, we've paid all service providers in terms of service providers. We have 1,744 service providers in the province. 1,322 in May they were paid. There were only 12 that were left because of the wrong invoice that they submitted. Even in June, we only have 34 service providers that are not paid because of the challenges of their invoices, of which the department is engaging with them. Hence, I'm saying I really don't understand this crisis. In July, remember that we are guided by the pieces of legislation. The PFMA says we must pay within 30 days. And so far, we have not yet met 30 days, but we've already paid 1,632 service providers. We only have 112 service providers that are not yet paid because of the challenges of invoices. But from to date, we've paid all service providers that have submitted correct invoices. We are engaging with our service providers. We remember that service providers, I want to remind them about the circular that we issued, circular 83 of 2024, which indicated which dates we normally pay and how we're going to affect it in terms of payment. And all such providers, they agree. I don't want to entertain those ones that they want to use this program and want to advance their political scores.
MEC, you say you don't understand the crisis. You can understand rightfully so when people hear of service providers who aren't being paid and the possibility of children going hungry. It does raise alarms. But I do want to play a clip for you because earlier on this news program as well, speaking to Vuyo Mvoko, we had Lindani Matiwanu, who's the KZN chairperson for the National School Nutrition Program. And I want you to take a listen to what he had to say.
He has guts to go to the public and deny, yet he has never seen or engaged with us, not even once. But as it is, we haven't been able to engage with the department. And I've said this before, that whenever they are disputing something, it's not a matter of they have to dispute, we argue or debate or disagree. It's a matter of giving proof and evidence. Whenever they are disputing something, they need to give or provide evidence that really what we are saying is not true. Because right now, as it is, it's like we are misleading the community or the public. And we've been portrayed as people who are liars, having their own interest to achieve. Yet, we are speaking of our duty, of our work, our responsibility. This is our business. This is our core survival business. We do not have any further interest than feeding these learners.
Well, MEC, what do you have to say to that? But speaking there on the concerns by one of the service providers as well, that you haven't actually been engaging with them.
Well, I can confirm with you that we have engaged all service providers. You can do your own assessment. You can invite any service provider, not in a form of a group. I'm not aware, I've never met the association because we never formulated an association. It's fine if the service providers, they decided to group themselves and form themselves in the form of the association. But we are engaging with our service providers on a daily basis. Hence, I'm saying, to date, we have paid 1,632 service providers for July. It's only 112 that we have not yet paid because of the challenges indicated in the invoice. And the both parties, which is the Department of Education and also a service provider, who signed the agreement, they did agree that no, they agree of the challenge that there is something that was omitted on the invoice. We can't just pay an invoice that is not completely. Because at the end of the day, you yourself, you are going to come to us and interview us and ask why are we paying a certain service provider, knowing very well that there were no supporting documents. So we are engaging with the service provider. We have not met with that association, but I'm aware that the HOD as an accounting officer, he did meet the association in May, and then they have agreed to ensure that we are going to pay at that time. Hence, I'm saying in May, we have paid at least 1,222, and there were 22 that were outstanding because of the challenge of invoice. Now, we can't just pay willy-nilly because someone has submitted an invoice. Having submitted an invoice, we need to analyze the invoice if they are supporting documents, especially did the school agree that we have submitted the item that is written on the invoice. We can't just say because there's an invoice that's submitted, you just pay willy-nilly. We are guided by the policies of government. We are guided by the PSMA and the Treasurer circulars. We are going to engage with those that claim that they have submitted and there are no challenges in their invoices.
So just to get this clear, the Department of Education in KwaZulu-Natal, you're saying that you've paid all the suppliers and the ones who are outstanding, you said there's 112 of those. It's an invoice issue on their part. They didn't give you the supporting documents or the correct invoice. Is that what you're saying? The issue is not on your department with snags on your department that's unable to pay these outstanding suppliers.
They did submitted the invoice, but the invoice was incomplete. It means, what does that mean if it's complete? That means there were information that was not captured there in their invoice. That means there were supporting document that was not attached. There are various reasons, there are various factors that make an invoice to be incomplete.
Before I let you go, MEC, so confirming that from Friday and moving forward throughout the year and beyond, there will be no issue with children going to school and not getting this nutrition program that they deserve?
So far, from what we are aware, because we have agreed with our service providers, there's no school that have indicated, even to date, that they have not received the items that are supposed to submit it. There's no school that they're saying there's a crisis. There are service providers that they've indicated that they have not paid, of which they claim that they submitted invoices, and then the department with the service provider, they've analyzed the invoices. Hence, we have only 112 service providers that they have not paid because of the incomplete invoices. But more than 1,622 they have paid from the latest, from the Tuesday. We've paid all the invoices that were submitted for July. I don't want to talk about June because we've paid almost 1,722. Hence, I'm saying if there is a service provider that claims that he or she submitted an invoice with all the relevant documents, we are saying that in that service provider, must engage with our district. If there are challenges, he or she can even come to our offices so that we will deal with that matter.
For any parents who may have been concerned that their children may not be getting this meal, what do you have to say to them?
I'm saying they must not panic. We are the caring government. That's why we are providing nutrition in school. We are taking care of our learners. We are not going to allow any service provider that's not going to deliver food in school. Hence, we are saying we are working with everyone. We are also working with parents through the SGP. Remember, SGPs are part of governance. And parents, they are aware of what's happening in schools. So that's why I think there must be no panic. We are dealing with all matters that are presented in our office.
MEC, thank you so much for your time. Well, there you have it. That's KwaZulu-Natal Department of Education, MEC Sipho Hlomuka.